For years, I lived under the soft glow of hope. Hope that maybe, just maybe, I would one day hold a baby in my arms who would call me mom. After a long battle with infertility and heartbreak, Adam and I chose adoption. We adopted Ava, an 8-day-old baby girl with the calmest brown eyes and a soothing presence I didn't know I needed. She was ours the moment I saw her. Adam wept as he cradled her in the hospital room, whispering promises that she would be loved, cherished, and protected. Our families celebrated, though, even then, I sensed a flicker of reservation in my mother-in-law's eyes. Still, we had our daughter. Then, 6 months later, a miracle, I got pregnant. Naturally. Unexpectedly. At 38. The doctors were stunned, and I was breathless. It was a whirlwind pregnancy, but Lily was born healthy, full of life, and absolutely beautiful. Our 2 daughters. One born of my womb, the other of my heart. I thought we were complete, whole. But wholeness was an illusion, at least in the eyes of others. Ava was 6 months old when the miracle happened. It was a regular Tuesday morning. Ava was napping, and I was folding laundry with the TV humming in the background. I'd been feeling a little off for days, fatigue, nausea, a strange tenderness I couldn't quite explain. On a whim, I took a pregnancy test, more out of habit than hope. After years of trying and failing, I'd grown used to seeing one line. I didn't expect anything different. But 2 pink lines stared back at me. I blinked. Sat down. Blinked again. The world tilted on its axis. I waited for Adam to come home. I was trembling when I handed him the test. He just stared. Then he picked me up and spun me around, laughing like a kid on Christmas. I'd never seen that look in his eyes, not even when Ava came into our lives. It hurt a little, but I buried that feeling deep. I told myself this didn't mean he loved Ava less, it just meant he was shocked. 9 months later, Lily was born. And that's when the shift began. Suddenly, everything became about Lily. My mother-in-law Evelyn was the first to make it obvious. She showed up at the hospital the next day with a silver bracelet engraved, "Our first grandchild." I remember holding Ava in one arm and Lily in the other, and Evelyn pointedly looking only at the baby in pink. "A true blessing," she whispered to Adam. "A child of your own blood." I brushed it off at first. Maybe she didn't mean it like that. Maybe I was being too sensitive. But then Ava's photos started to disappear from Evelyn's fridge. She began showing off Lily at church, calling her the first girl in the family since Adam. She brought hand-me-downs and toys for Lily and nothing for Ava. Once, at a family dinner, Evelyn handed me an envelope filled with money. "It's for Lily's future," she said. "What about Ava?" I asked carefully. She smiled without smiling. "Well, that's different, isn't it?" That night, I cried silently in the bathroom while Ava slept curled on my chest. I was starting to realize this wasn't subtle favoritism. It was rejection. A rejection of my daughter. At first, Adam was Ava's hero. He fed her, rocked her to sleep, called her my little warrior. He was proud when people praised us for adopting. But when Lily was born, something inside him dimmed toward Ava. He began treating her like an obligation. She would toddle over to him, arms raised, and he'd gently nudge her aside, saying, "Later, sweetheart, I'm with Lily right now." One day, I came home from running errands to find Ava in the playpen with a wet diaper and tear-streaked cheeks. Adam was on the couch, Lily nestled in his arms, both of them asleep. I checked the baby monitor. Ava had been crying for 40 minutes. When I confronted him, he got defensive. "She's fine. You're overreacting." But it wasn't just one time. It was every time. Bedtime stories turned into solo routines. I'd read to both girls while Adam played games on his phone. When he did play with Ava, it was distracted, distant. Meanwhile, he beamed at Lily's every giggle, every babble, every milestone like she was the sun. One evening, we had friends over. When someone asked how fatherhood was treating him, Adam laughed and said, "It's different with Lily, you know? She's really mine." I froze. He didn't notice my expression. But our friend did. She looked down, awkward and silent. After they left, I asked him point blank, "What did you mean by that?" He shrugged. "Nothing. Just that she's my biological kid." "So Ava isn't your real daughter?" "I didn't say that," he snapped, suddenly on edge. "You're twisting things." "No. I'm hearing exactly what you meant." And still, I wanted to believe this was a phase. A slump. A man overwhelmed. A man lost in the fog of new fatherhood. But then came the night I walked in on him researching adoption reversal laws. That was no longer a misunderstanding. That was a betrayal. I stood in the hallway, frozen, my heart pounding in my ears. When he noticed me, he quickly locked his phone. "What are you doing?" I asked, the words catching in my throat. He stared at me, guilty and pale. "I was just reading. That's all." "Reading about how to give away our daughter?" It's not like that. My mom said, she just thinks it's confusing for the girls. That Ava might feel out of place. She's worried about them both growing up together and what?" I interrupted. "That Ava will always feel like the outsider?" He didn't respond. I felt something inside me break. "Adam," I said, voice shaking. "If you can even consider that, if that thought even has space in your mind, you've already failed her as a father." His silence was the confirmation I needed. That night, I sat in the dark nursery between the two cribs, Ava holding my finger in her sleep, Lily breathing softly nearby. I looked at my daughters, both my daughters, and I vowed. No one will take either of you away from me. Not even your father. It all came to a head one Sunday afternoon, during what was supposed to be a peaceful family lunch at our house. Evelyn arrived wearing pearls and that smile, the kind that didn't reach her eyes. She kissed Lily's cheek and didn't even look at Ava, who was sitting quietly with her coloring book on the floor. It didn't matter that Ava called her Nana. It didn't matter that she ran to the door every time she heard Evelyn's car. Evelyn would step over her love like it was a stain on the floor. I watched it happen again. And again. Over dessert, Evelyn brought it up, not with gentleness or grace, but with ice and arrogance. "You know," she began, stirring her tea with slow, deliberate clinks, "it's not too late to make things right." I looked up, unsure what she meant. Adam stiffened beside me. Evelyn continued. "There are wonderful families out there who can take in Ava. Families who can give her the kind of life she was meant for. You and Adam can focus on Lily now. Your real daughter." Silence. It rang louder than a scream. Ava looked up, sensing tension, but not understanding. She was too young. Too innocent to understand that the woman sitting across the table just suggested giving her away like old furniture. "Get out," I said. Evelyn blinked. "Excuse me?" I said, "Get out." Adam turned to me. "Patricia. Let's just, no." I stood. "This is my house. That is my daughter. The one you stepped over when you walked in. The one you've never held. The one you're trying to erase. She's not even yours by blood," Evelyn hissed, her voice turning cold. "She is mine by love. And that is the only thing that matters." Evelyn scoffed. "You're being emotional. This isn't how families survive. You're putting Lily's future at risk, too." I looked to Adam. "And you? Do you agree with her?" He wouldn't meet my eyes. "It's complicated, Pat." It was in that moment I saw the truth. The man I married had let someone else define his fatherhood. He wasn't confused. He wasn't overwhelmed. He was complicit. You're not just failing Ava, I whispered. You're failing me. Evelyn stood up, adjusting her coat, insulted. This is why I never believed in adoption. It only brings confusion and bitterness. I walked to the door and opened it. You don't get to speak about adoption. Or family. Not in this house. She left in a huff. Adam sat in silence. And Ava, sweet Ava, crawled into my lap and whispered, Mommy, did I do something wrong? I hugged her tight. No, baby. You are the best thing that ever happened to me. That night, Adam slept in the guest room. I could have ended it there. But I knew Evelyn wasn't done. I could feel it. Like a storm cloud looming. Over the next few weeks, she started spreading rumors among extended family members that Ava was emotionally unstable, that we were regretting the adoption, that I had postpartum issues and was clinging to the wrong child. It was a campaign. A quiet, calculated character assassination to push me toward giving up Ava without a fight. But I didn't back down. Instead, I got smart. I began recording her conversations when she visited. I documented every interaction. And one day, Evelyn left her phone unlocked on the kitchen counter. A message popped up from her lawyer. Custody transfer documents ready for signature. My blood turned cold. She was planning to legally pressure us into relinquishing Ava, probably by manipulating Adam behind my back, making it seem like a mutual family decision. I confronted Adam that night. He didn't even try to deny it. She's offering to fund Lily's education, help us with bills, the house, he said. She said she'll help us build the life we always wanted. At the cost of giving up Ava? I asked, stunned. You think a child is negotiable? A trade-off for comfort? She's not ours, Pat. I slapped the table. She is mine. And if you can't see that, then maybe you're not part of this family anymore. His face turned red with shame and anger. You're being dramatic. No, I'm being her mother. That week, I filed for a legal protection order against anyone who attempted to interfere with Ava's custody or her well-being, including Evelyn. I brought every recorded statement to my lawyer. And I made sure one more thing happened. I invited Evelyn, Adam, and the entire extended family to Ava's 4th birthday party. And there, I played a montage on the screen, not of Ava's childhood memories, but of Evelyn's own voice. Clips of her calling Ava a mistake. Telling Adam to focus on the child that matters. And the final one, we'll get rid of her soon enough. Patricia will see reason, or we'll make her. Gasps. Silence. The room spun. Adam left in shame. Evelyn tried to shout it was edited and fake, but no one believed her. That day, they lost everything they built on manipulation. Me? I gained something much greater, clarity, freedom, and the promise that Ava would never question her place in this world again. Because I would never let her. After the party, the expose, I thought I'd feel victorious. But in truth, I felt exhausted. I sat on the edge of Ava's bed that night as she clutched her new stuffed bunny and told me she was glad everyone came to her party. She had no idea the storm she'd survived. That was the point, she never would. Adam left the next day. He didn't fight. He didn't even say goodbye to Ava. He packed a bag and left a note. I never signed up for this kind of war. I hope one day you forgive me. I didn't cry. I didn't break. I tucked the note away in a box labeled for closure. Then I made a decision. I called a lawyer the next morning and filed for full custody of both Ava and Lily. I wasn't taking chances. I didn't want Evelyn trying to crawl her way into Lily's life either. Meanwhile, Evelyn tried to save face. She made vague posts online about being betrayed and cut off from her granddaughters. She tried to twist the narrative, but no one bought it anymore. People remembered what they heard. Especially those clips. The lawyer said, you have a solid case for permanent no-contact orders. They'd need to make a serious effort to change before any judge considers revisiting it. I didn't want them to change. I just wanted them gone. Weeks passed. Ava thrived. Lily started saying mama more often, and Ava became the best big sister in the world. She read to her. She shared her toys. She even told me, I'll protect her from monsters too. One evening, as we made dinner together, Ava asked, Mommy, why don't Daddy and Nana come anymore? It hit like a punch to the gut. I knelt down, brushing her curls back gently. Sometimes, baby, people make choices that hurt others. And until they say sorry and mean it, they need to stay away. Did they hurt you? I nodded. Yes. She reached out and hugged me, tight. I won't let anyone hurt you either. I hugged her back. And I'll never let anyone hurt you. Or your sister. That night, I cried after she went to bed, not from sadness, but from gratitude. Because despite everything, we had love. And love, real love, was enough. I went back to work part-time, slowly rebuilding my sense of self outside of motherhood. I'd spent so long worrying about keeping the family together. I hadn't realized I'd been losing myself trying to please people who never cared. The girls and I created new traditions. Fridays became dance night in the living room days. Sundays were pancake days. Ava insisted on making smiley faces with fruit. And every month, we donated clothes and toys to the foster care center we adopted Ava from. She picked the items herself. She knew the importance of kindness now more than ever. Eventually, I started therapy, not just for me, but for us as a unit. I wanted Ava to grow up knowing that what she'd been through wasn't her fault. And I wanted to heal, truly, without patching wounds with denial. The therapist told me, you did something powerful. You chose a child with your heart, and you fought for her when even your partner wouldn't. That's the kind of mother who breaks cycles. I held that close. One day, nearly a year later, a letter arrived addressed to me. It was from Adam. He'd moved to another city. He said he was in therapy, that he understood now what he had done. That Evelyn had fallen sick and was alone, that he regretted everything, especially not saying goodbye to Ava. He asked if he could visit, just once. I folded the letter and placed it in the same box where I'd kept his first note. I didn't respond. Not because I wanted revenge. But because Ava was happy. She was healing. And I wouldn't let anyone, even someone who once promised me forever, risk that again. Forgiveness doesn't always mean reopening the door. Sometimes, it means closing it with peace in your heart. Years have passed now. Ava's in 2nd grade. Lily's in preschool. We still have pancake Sundays. We still dance on Fridays. And on Ava's adoption anniversary, we throw a party, not because she needed to be chosen, but because we celebrate that we all chose each other. Every single day. Some people look at our little trio and whisper behind their coffee cups. They wonder why there's no father figure. Why one girl looks like me and one doesn't. But I don't waste breath explaining. Because I know what they don't, that this, our imperfect, messy, beautiful little home, is the safest place on earth for my girls. No one will ever make Ava feel like a placeholder again. No one will ever make Lily think her worth is measured in blood. And no one will ever come between my daughters and the love they deserve. They're both mine. By birth. By miracle. By choice. And I'll fight for them until my last breath.